Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. Brought to you by no one. This is Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As we've been doing for quite some time, we're going to start off this evening by the singing of the national anthem. And just prior to that, we're going to bring in the host of the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015, giving us the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask everyone now to please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh yeah! Come on, folks, let them know it.
America's finest, the United States Army Barbershop Quartet, singing at the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015. The Barbershop Quartet Convention hosts giving us a Pledge of Allegiance, and we appreciate that very much. We want to thank all our armed forces men and women around the globe, and also our allies who support us as well to help police the world, literally, because that's exactly what they're doing, helping police the world. We want to thank them for their service and also ask God to protect them and bless them that they might be able to return home to their families after their tours of duty end. God bless you and thank you for your service, all of you. We appreciate you all very, very much. Folks, we have a lot to talk about, as we normally do. I probably am not going to talk about all the earthquakes around the world tonight. I promised you we'd probably get to Southern California. We probably will not. I'm going to touch on some earthquakes around the world, yes, but I probably won't get to all of them. We haven't had anything major hit anywhere in the world today. We've had some 5s and we've had a lot of 4s. We have activity over in the Pacific Northwest that we're going to talk about. But before we get to that, I want to again talk about the Hawaii wildfires. I have a mandate to talk about them, number one. Number two, we have a lot of people that have died in western Maui, and we have an obligation to talk about it. So first, guys, I'm going to go to Hawaii to talk about what is going on in Maui. So folks, please bear with me on this. We will get around to talking about earthquakes. I feel it an obligation to do this.
It continues in Lahaina. Today marks 1 week since the flames swept through the town. We'll learn more today about the victims of Hawaii's most tragic hour. We're also going to hear from survivors who find themselves in a situation that was unthinkable just days ago. Much more on Maui come up, including a trespasser who was arrested in Lahaina. Meanwhile, Steve Uitar is live this morning in Wailuku, anchoring from the field for us. Steve?
Yes, Grace, exactly like you said, we're live outside of War Memorial Complex, and in that facility is where several of the displaced residents from Lahaina are staying, and from some of the other fires as well. In fact, right down this road is where we spoke to some of those survivors yesterday, all dealing with their own grief. You're going to hear their stories coming up in just a second. First, though, let's check in with Guy Haji.
All right, you can see where Steve is in Wailuku. Things are looking rather dry, and that's the case right now. However, there's a potential for rain coming from the remnants, the leftovers of Hurricane Fernanda. This is Greg, right? Tropical Storm Greg. Now, both those systems are very far away, not expected to impact us directly, at least not anytime soon. However, the remnants from Fernanda could bring us some rain sometime between Sunday and Monday of next week. There's a potential for heavy rainfall again. Sunday and Monday, there's a potential for rainfall. So if you have friends or family on Maui in temporary housing, maybe outside, sleeping in a tent, heads up and inform them that there could be some rain between Sunday and Monday. Not a guarantee, but there's the potential. So we want to warn everybody that the rain could down. There's even a chance for some heavy rain. Now this morning, Maui, like the rest of the state, is rather dry. Remember, they're still trying to fight that fire up in the Kula area. And the winds will run breezy today, running at 15 to 25 miles an hour. They'll run breezy for the next couple of days, but not anywhere near as strong as what we saw last week. Now let's see what's going on out on the roads. Lacey, what you got?
And we're keeping an eye on the latest road closures on the island of Maui. Here's the latest for residents trying to get access into that West Maui neighborhood. Only for area residents, you will be allowed in through Kahakuloa and then exit through Ma'alaya. Now, the entrance through Ma'alaya side, that is reserved only for approved first responders, medical, utility, county supply transport, and volunteer personnel. So residents, again, allowed in through Kahakuloa, but limited access there starting from Ma'alaya, reserved for personnel only. We'll take a look at the roads here on Oahu coming up in just a few minutes. For now, Grace, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Lacey. We're going to check back in with Steve in a moment, live from Maui. But first, there are some significant developments happening today regarding the Lahaina fire. The Maui Police Department says it will start publicly identifying victims of the fire today. First, they have to notify the families. The military is bringing in additional security, primarily to keep people out of Lahaina. Officials state it is still extremely hazardous. Plus, there are human remains in the rubble. We're going to have more on that in a moment. The Maui Fire Department is planning an overflight today to use a thermal scanner. That will help them identify hot spots in the fire. And Maui County's donation site at War Memorial Stadium, that closes today. A new site opens at the Sears parking lot in Queen Ka'ahumanu Center. That will be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Now, as of last night at 10 p.m., the Lahaina fire was said to be 85% contained, having burned 2,100 acres. It's not currently posing a threat to any structures. Upcountry, the Kula fire, now 65% contained and measured at about 678 acres. That firefight is slow going because of the difficult landscape there. The Pulehu fire near Kihei is 100% contained, It doesn't mean it is extinguished. Contained just means that the firefighters have managed to establish a perimeter, so they are monitoring that area closely for flare-ups. The death toll currently stands at 99, though it is still likely to rise. 25% of Lahaina has been searched so far. 20 cadaver dogs are combing the rubble. Straub Medical Center says it is treating 9 burn victims at its facility, though no word on their condition because of privacy concerns. Authorities say that they have arrested a 40-year-old man from Wai'ehu for trespassing. Police say that Hinor Latorno allegedly entered Lahaina around midnight on Sunday, despite the mayor's emergency proclamation declaring the town off limits. He is also accused of gun and drug charges. He posted bail. Officials have been strongly urging people to stay out of Lahaina because of safety concerns and out of respect for the dead.
The conditions at Lahaina town as an impact zone is very dangerous, very hazardous, and worse, we don't even know some of the hazards that are there yet. They haven't been measured. So anyone deciding to go there takes in toxic chemicals and other sorts of things that you don't need to be breathing. The last thing we want to do is have any loss of life for anyone else because their curiosity outweighs their judgment.
Hawaiian Electric says that power has been restored to all but 2,000 of the 12,400 customers who lost power in West Maui. Lahaina Civic Center now has power. 400 HECO employees from across the state still working on restoring the power there. And officials said about 400 of 750 power poles in West Maui have been damaged or destroyed. Additionally, more than 300 transformers need major repairs. All right, Steve, continuing our team coverage from Maui this morning. Steve?
Yeah, Grace, after we spoke to you yesterday, right after the show, Joel and I broke down. We had some other business to attend to, but we came right back here, and actually a little further down the road, that's where we found some people to talk to. Some on camera, some off camera. But right now, we just want to share 2 stories with you. One, a young woman named Kristen who's anxious to get back into Lahaina to reconnect with her family. And 2, a man named Bruce who just wants to go back and see what's left of his home. Do you have loved ones that are still back there?
Yeah, my auntie guys lost their home because my mom helped my auntie guys buy their house in Lahaina back in November, and it hasn't even been a year since they had their home, and they lost everything. It was like them and the siblings, there's like 23 of them, and they have like little ones, and we were talking to my auntie yesterday, and we're happy to see her, but the daughter's like so traumatized.
I've seen it by aerial footage through the helicopter. It's destroyed, the whole street's destroyed, but you know, seeing is believing, and we've always got hope, but we know that it's all gone.
Yeah, so you heard from Bruce there, and he and his wife seem to be having a little bit of a disagreement. She seems a little more hopeful that they may indeed have something to go back to. But regardless of what happens, they both say the same thing. Look, we're among the lucky ones. We escape. We know where our family is, and they're hoping, they're praying for the others who may be a little worse off. Grace, back to you.
So they're trying to make it back in Lahaina, but they're not being allowed back in? Is that what they're telling you, Steve?
Right, and I think you just ran something about what happened with the placards yesterday, and that's why there was so much hope. That's why the lines were so long at those 2 different parks. People were waiting for hours just to get those placards for an opportunity to go back, to see what their homes, what was left, to talk to some of their families. You're going to hear from another man coming up in the next half hour, talking about the guilt that he has because his home is still there. So many of his loved ones haven't. Everybody wanted to get back, and at a certain point they decided that they weren't going to hand out any more placards, and then we found out in the afternoon that the placard situation was just going to be canceled. So now we're back to square one where we were before, and people are still up in the air as to when they're going to be able to get back into Lahaina.
The frustration. All right, thanks, Steve. We'll check back in with you in a bit. And just a quick note to our viewers, we will be speaking to the governor at 5:30. Now, in the meantime, Hawaiian Electric is facing lawsuits by people second-guessing the decisions that it made, and its stock dove on the news. Howard.
Yeah, good morning. Hawaiian Electric shares lost 1/3 of all their value in a single day, falling almost to $20 a share, and it's below $20 a share this morning as word spread that personal injury lawyers were gunning for the company. Bloomberg News and the New York Post both cited 3 law firms investigating HECO, Watts Guerra, Singleton Schreiber, and the France Law Group, presumably researching possible class action lawsuits. Watts Guerra specializes in agriculture suits. Singleton Schreiber, which has already filed suit, lists its specialties on its website, and the first one is fire litigation. France Law Group bills itself on its website as specializing in wildfire lawsuits. PECO is accused of failing to shut down power proactively, but that would have disabled water pressure, as eventually happened from an involuntary power shutdown. It also would have affected medical patients who use electrical devices for respiration. The Matson barge Columbia has made a special trip from Honolulu to Kahului, hauling 32 large generators to power the work of more than 400 FEMA personnel now working on Maui. The Matson barge also carried 4 generators for state government operations, 2 refrigerated containers with food, and a 3rd container filled entirely with ice. You can thank the Hawaii Industry Food Association for that. Matson has another barge due at Kahului today. On Wall Street this morning, stocks are down. The Dow is down more than 250 points right now.
So with the power shut off, the water didn't pump? Is that what happened? That
right.
It operates pumps?
It relies on electricity for that. So that was one, the problem that would have arrived if the power had been shut off proactively, as the lawyers are now alleging. Now, of course, eventually the fire got so hot that pipes were melting, and that's why water was getting out without pressure at that point.
Oh, what a disaster.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Howard. All right, well, the United States Coast Guard says that it will shift from recovery efforts and now focus on minimizing the environmental impacts. The Coast Guard has deployed pollution response teams and equipment, so they've now placed a 100-foot boom at the mouth of the Lahaina Harbor. They're trying to contain those potential hazardous contaminants and materials. A safety zone has been established from Wahikuli Wayside Park to Launiupoko Beach Park, extending 1 nautical mile seaward from the shoreline. Potential hazards in the waterway are still being evaluated. The Molokaʻihoi canoe race has been canceled. Organizers decided to call it off because of the ongoing disaster and through a desire to show unity and solidarity. All right, we'll continue to bring you updates on the Maui situation, but coming up, there's going to be a full closure of a major roadway on Oahu. We'll tell you what to watch out for. And there were some major problems at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport last night that delayed flights. What caused the problem? Guy?
Great.
Okay, that's that part of the news program. I wanted to get that out because there's really good information there. The next part of the program, guys, is where I start having problems. I want to show you this. This part is very, very, very important. This is a police chief of Maui. This is the police chief of Maui. Those of you that were with me remember when we had a shooting in Las Vegas during the Jason Aldean concert. This gentleman was in charge of the incident command in Las Vegas at that time. Please pay attention to what he's saying.
Aloha. Patience, prayers, perseverance. That's what we need. I'll say it every time I come up, because if I don't say it, or you get tired of hearing it, or people get tired of understanding it, it means we've lost our patience, we've lost our faith, and we lost our will. The Kama'aina, this island and this state will never, never lose their faith and will never lose their will, period. There are 99 so far. And I think that it was said very eloquently by the mayor. Our deepest condolences, because starting tomorrow, MPD will be pushing out, with partnership with the county, the names of those that have been identified and notified. If you have not been notified because of the way the state law is and the way we're going to do this, family notification has to take place. And then if we've identified them but we have not got a notification, we'll put something to state identified, notification pending. I understand that people want numbers. It's not a numbers game. Right now we're at 99 souls and families, so we're going to continue to do that. To date, 25% of the area has been searched. We started with 1 dog, we're at 20. We can only move as fast as we can, but we've got the right amount of workers, the right amount of teams doing it. Just so you guys know about the search teams and what we've assembled, because I cannot say thank you enough to the incredible work of the men and women of MPD, MFD, the National Guard, Public Works, and all of the unsung heroes. You know, all these things don't happen because elves do it. It happens because human beings are doing it. I think we take all that stuff for granted, and everybody wants perfection, but you're only going to get what you can get at the time. But the 25% and the leadership that's going right now, we have people that searched the towers 9/11, and I got reporters here and folks that they weren't alive when that happened. So you got to think about that you weren't alive when that happened. So I want people to understand the reverence of which we're doing this. The head of the FEMA team conducting this search briefed the team when we went out at the beginning and talked about this. It's not just ash on your clothing when you take it off. It's our loved ones. That's the reverence. That's why we can't have you walking down there. And we had to arrest somebody for trespassing. And so if we want to keep doing this and slowing it down, keep doing that. Do a Freedom of Information Act and figure out who that person is. Tell that story. Knock it off. We're going to do this right. We need you so much. If you're a family of somebody missing out of state, we need you to contact the Family Assistance Center. We will make a connection with the local law enforcement agency to get that DNA sample, and we'll make sure that we get that over. We've got a dedicated team that will begin the investigation component. I've actually started the investigation component. And D. Mort from the federal government will come on Wednesday to augment our team. And so we will get those notifications. We'll get them done right. God bless you. God bless Maui.
Okay, that's the end of his statement. Okay, now, again, knowing what we know about that man, we never did find out exactly what happened in Las Vegas. 99 people are known now that have perished. They've lost their lives. Those people have lost their lives, ladies and gentlemen. Maui's police chief said that 75% of the hardest hit areas have not yet been searched. Only 25% have been searched. There are over 20 dogs, or I should say not just dogs, but dog teams. He should have said dog teams. There's over 20 dog teams on site right now, and there may be more incoming. Something important that he did say: the ash that is there are remains of people, family members that have perished in West Maui. That area, and I've said it and I'm going to say it again, that area is a hallowed space. It is a sacred space. Right now, it's a graveyard. It should be treated with sacredness. It should also be treated as hallowed space. I have great respect for that. I personally have had to help search an area that was ravaged by fire. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. As one commentator said as a comment, about this Maui fire. As a campfire survivor, this man had been over in Paradise, California. He survived it. He said, quote, "I can tell you organizations like the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and the United Way did very little for us. From my experience, I will only give donations directly to survivors, keeping you all in my prayers." Think about that. I am also going to give you tonight organizations that will legitimately take your money and pass it on to the survivors. Do not, and I put this out Sunday and I'm kicking myself for having done it, do not give money to the Red Cross. I have known for a very long time that the Red Cross takes some of that money and puts it in their own pockets. Very little of the money actually gets to survivors. Don't give it to them. I will give you information tonight of places that you can donate money to. And you can pass that on as well. Sweet Polly Purebred said earlier here in the chat that we need the investigation going on right now along with the DNA team. And she's absolutely right. She is absolutely right. Yes, they have DNA teams out there. They do have DNA teams out there. They're working to identify the remains of people that are found out on the field. I'm going to call it a field because that's exactly what it is. It's a field of ravage. The area has been ravaged. Folks, I'm dead serious about this. Okay? The other thing that Polly Purebred said, this is very serious, and I will be making remarks more about this in a few minutes. Polly said here in the chat, would they actually ... all those folks for a smart city? Yes, Polly, they are working towards that. They've had one meeting to make Maui, the entire island, an electric smart city, including electric vehicles. Okay? It's not Elon Musk that's doing it. It's a Democrat Communist Party here in America. They've been working on this for some time, and come September, they're going to have another meeting both in Maui and over on the Big Island. Polly says, I'm not actually liking what I'm seeing, unfortunately, far enough away where we can't help. Yes, we can. Polly says, it's very suspicious in a real bind there. Yes, it is very suspicious, and again, I have more things to talk about there. Folks, if I haven't already said it, and I don't think I have, this program is a very serious program tonight. Please, folks, check your subscriptions to this program tonight. We've had a great number of people that have been unsubscribed. We have gained a couple subscribers in the past couple weeks, but that is all. We want to grow this channel because we have important information to give everybody. Folks, we need you to also pass this information on to everybody that you can even think about. Your family, your extended family, your friends, your neighbors, your social media contacts, and even the people you work with. This channel is a very important emergency disaster information channel. And that's what we're doing tonight, is passing on emergency disaster information. And this does not just affect the people in Hawaii. This affects people from the United States mainland and also people from around the world. All over the world, people know people here in Maui. They also have friends and relatives here in Maui, literally from around the world. I know that to be a fact because I have spoken to people literally from around the world that are there in Maui. Tonight's information is very, very important for us to give you. So please, folks, if you were even thinking of only being here for a short time, don't even think about leaving. This information is very vital that we get out to the public. One of the other comments that we got, this is very important. This commenter said, quote, "It seems the Navy could anchor a communication ship right out in front of Lahaina that could serve as a massive hotspot for the entire west side of Maui. They could also bring in berthing barges." Now, I've seen the berthing barges before in San Diego. They often use that when they're training troops, sailors that were going to go aboard ships in San Diego to get experience on board ships and have them right there and not having to travel from a hotel or somewhere else. They put them on berthing barges right there in San Diego Harbor at the Naval Yard. They can do the same thing over in Lahaina. Okay? They could also bring in a supply ship and do helo ops with supplies. Yes, they could. Not sure where the disconnect is, but this catastrophe is being incredibly mismanaged. This catastrophe is being incredibly mismanaged. This isn't day 1 or 2 after the event. This is now 1 week out. This person, and I second this, I am heartbroken for the people who've lost their lives here and those that are currently suffering. Suffering for their not being able to locate their family members, and suffering because they've lost everything. Some of them have the clothes on their backs and that's all. I have spoken to them. I have seen them. Some of them don't have food. Can't get food or water. Again, I'm asking why. Yes, the roads are open. There's no fire near any roadways that would offer any entry and exit to that area. They could provide food for those people that are over there in Lahaina right now. During these videos, we've actually shown you one of the Safeway shopping centers there in Lahaina that burned down, burned to the ground. People that are there are living in their cars. Those people that still have cars. Some of them are living with family members or other people that have offered them room. The city and county of Maui has still been asking people that live in Maui to help people that are displaced, if they have room in their homes, to offer them a room in their homes. Hotels are now coming online that are being paid by FEMA to offer their rooms to survivors. And that's a good thing. I'm not going to knock that.
Location, Central Mid-Atlantic Ridge, class, light magnitude 4.8, 12 minutes ago.
Central Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a 4.8 moderate earthquake. They say it's a light earthquake. They are lying through their teeth. But like this person that left a comment, they said they're heartbroken, and so am I. In interviewing them and talking with them, they did not want me to record the interview or put them on the air, and I'm not going to do that. They have lost friends, they have lost loved ones, they have lost family members. Like I said, that ground is hallowed. There's a lot of people that have lost their lives there. There's people that are currently suffering, and we should honor them. This person that I'm quoting says love and prayers from San Diego. I know this person. As you heard in this video, Maui Police Department Chief John Pelletier announced the county of Maui would begin the painful process tomorrow of releasing the identities of those who have died. And we will go along with that and help that information get out. Because there's a great many people all over the world that need that information as well. The identities of 3 people that have been confirmed so far. 3 people. 3 people out of 99 bodies that have been found so far. Though family members have reported their own deaths based on eyewitness sightings. Family members have reported other family members' deaths because they witnessed it. Again, right now we are at 99 souls, families missing. 99 souls or family members that we have found. Over 29 cadaver dog teams are on the ground with search and rescue teams looking for remains. They're doing a grid search. They're being careful to scour the entire area before anything else is done. The police chief and his department and the Maui city and county people, the mayors, said they are going to do this right. Mr. Joe Biden gave his remarks on whole-on government response and the efforts underway in Maui during a live event in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this morning. He said, quote, he and the First Lady are going to come to Maui as soon as possible, but they're not willing to disrupt the ongoing recovery efforts. It's painstaking work. It takes time. It's nerve-wracking. Most of the debris cannot be removed until that is done. So he and his wife will not be coming to Maui anytime soon. They don't want to disrupt recovery efforts, and that's exactly what would happen. Every asset of the federal government is there for the people. Now, again, I'm going to say, and I want to make this very clear, that even though every asset is supposedly there that's available to the people in Maui, they're not doing it right. Governor Josh Green confirmed Tuesday in an interview this morning. The recovery efforts have found children among the Lahaina fire victims. He said it's one of the reasons why officials are asking for patience as they go into ground zero. When the bodies are smaller, we know it's a child. There was a car, for example, that had 4 people in it. It was obviously a car family of 4, 2 children in the back seat. We see some of these settings where it's a group of 7 in a house and you know it's children, Mayor Green said. Some of the sites are too small, too much to share or see from just a human perspective, and we don't want to disrupt any of the recovery efforts. At a news conference yesterday, Mayor Green said that in addition to the recovery efforts, work is underway to transition residents out of evacuation shelters and into hotels and vacation rentals. He said about 2,000 housing units have been secured. Mayor Green also pledged that at least 36 weeks of housing would be provided. That's 6 months. 6 months of housing that those evacuees will be able to have until they can find something else on their own. The scale of destruction here, as you saw on these videos, is incredible. The adding recovery is going to take time. Hawaii Electric Company crews are also working to restore power to West Maui and to make significant repairs to the grid. Officials said that about 400 to 750 power poles in West Maui have been either damaged or destroyed. Earlier we heard that we're 20, but there are really 400 to 750 poles that need to be replaced. Additionally, more than 300 power transformers need major repairs, with hundreds of people unaccounted for on Maui. Federal authorities are still calling their response in Lahaina, in Maui, a search and rescue operation. As the search for missing loved ones continues, state and federal authorities believe that significant issues with communication may still be prohibiting some people from reconnecting with their families. I'm going to address that in just another couple of minutes as well. DD 2003 is here in the chat. She said, so glad the governor is stopping developers from coming in to buy up the land. That's not the case. So far, the governor and the government is not doing anything to stop the developers or anyone else from coming in to develop the area. I will be addressing this, guys, so please don't get overly excited here in the chat yet. Okay? Please don't go there. I have real issues. And I may lose cooperation from some of my state and federal sources because I am not going along with all of their narratives. So if you find me in the future days and maybe weeks to come, talking less and less about it and only giving you spotty evidence or spotty coverage of this, it's because possibly my state and federal resources may dry up because of my commentary tonight. Linda Covington's mentioning Oprah owns 2,000 acres over there on Maui. There's a lot of other celebrities that also do. A lot. I have evidence of that. But again, communications are still prohibiting some people from reconnecting with their families. I will be addressing that in a minute. The Red Cross is assisting unification efforts, and the county has established a resource center so people can report loved ones missing and provide DNA samples for possible identification. A Red Cross spokesman said the agency has received more than 2,500 calls from people looking for their loved ones, and about 800 of those cases have been resolved. Meanwhile, thousands of evacuees remain in shelters on Maui. FEMA says 3,000 people have been registered so far for disaster assistance. 3,000 people have been registered so far for disaster assistance, and that's a good thing, which includes cash aid. Now, some of the information that I'm going to give you next, I believe, is spotty at best. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell, who is on Maui, spoke at a White House press briefing yesterday and lied through her teeth. Standing next to the video presentation was Biden's press secretary, who lies through her teeth on a regular basis. Deanne Criswell, who's on Maui, spoke at the briefing yesterday to encourage evacuees to seek FEMA disaster assistance. Yes, she did. I saw the briefing. Assistance checks of $700 are available for evacuees to help cover their costs of food, water, and medical supplies. $700 is not going to go very far. There are also additional aid programs for property loss. Some details to those programs can be found at disasterassistance.gov. Again, disasterassistance.gov. Now, I'm going to give you additional information. These are places where you can make donations to the victims of the Hawaii fire. Please take notes here. The following, and there's 3 of them, the following are places where you or anyone else can make donations that will get to the disaster victims. LahainaVictims.com, LAHIANA victims.com, Lahaina Victims, one word.com. Hawaii Fire Victims Survivors List, Hawaii Fire Victims Survivors List. If you know a particular survivor, please give their name there, and that money will go directly to that very person. Again, LahainaVictims.com. Second, LahainaFireFund.com. LAHAINA FireFund, one word.com. LahainaFireFund.com. The third one is a friend of mine that I've made over there. He runs a real estate organization over in Maui, and he's doing his best to make sure that he can get information to the fire victims. He has interviewed them on his own YouTube program. He's a YouTube creator. HawaiiRealEstate.org. 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 Okay? HawaiiRealEstate.org. Those are the 3 places where I recommend, if you want to send money to the victims, that you can do so there. What I feel may have been a bad mistake, telling people to go to the Red Cross. Yes, the Red Cross does help people, but a lot of the money that is contributed to the Red Cross does not get out to the people who really need it. And I'm going to play a video for you in just a minute of a woman that knows this for a fact, and she has valid evidence to prove it. She has valid evidence to prove it. Now, I'm going to play that interview with her right now. This was on TikTok, by the way. This was on TikTok.
I wanted to give an update of the Maui fires, Lahaina, Kihei, Kailua. We spent the morning trying to find somewhere to volunteer, and we went to the War Memorial Center, which is a Red Cross operation, and we were turned away. They don't need any help. They have online signups that you can access if you go there and use their barcode. And we ended up finding a local organization, and I forget what they're called. I should look it up real quick. They're pretty much, they have a staging area. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Buzz's Wharf, and we're in Maui, I believe. There's a lot of supplies here, so if you need things, they are giving to those in need without IDs. And then there are boats here with signs that will take your supplies over to the Lahaina area. The roads in and out of Lahaina are shut down. You can exit, but you may not go back in. Even if you're a resident, they don't care. There is extreme corruption going on with the government here. The organization we were assisting, they did get a truck in yesterday when they opened the road for a brief time. Sat around for 5 hours waiting for direction on what to do with it. The mayor had zero guidance, and they were just like, we don't know what to do. They took 150 meals to be delivered for the people in need that are starving and don't have food or water. They were denied because they don't have a commercial kitchen license. And the boats that are trying to leave and give supplies to Lahaina and the people in need are having to bust through barricades to deliver supplies. So it seems like at every single turn, the government is doing everything that they can to make sure that the people here that need help do not get help. And the locals, they are doing everything they can to help, and we are being blocked from assisting. There are so many supplies, the shelves are empty in the stores of baby items like diapers and formula. Please don't buy anymore for donations, because the people that live in these cities that have been unaffected, now they don't have diapers or formula for their babies. And supposedly at the War Memorial, FEMA came and picked up a bunch of supplies and nobody knows where they went. I know in past FEMA situations, they found shipping containers full of supplies never given to those in need. So super sketchy. The War Memorial is supposed to be a place where you can drop off supplies, but people in need who need supplies are being turned away and told that it is not a center to go pick up any supplies unless you're registered at that facility. So again, families in need being turned away. I picked up some homeless people. There are still people living in cars in parking lots, and took them to a shelter. The War Memorial said the shelter was open this morning. I went there, closed 2 days ago. And so I ended up driving 45 minutes to find a shelter that was open with availability for them. Something else, this building right here, it's called Buzz's Wharf. They're having to set up everything outside. They're not allowed to use any lights in the building because the city has condemned the building. Heaven forbid that we are in a crisis and we have available building that we can use to assist people so that donations aren't damaged if it rains. Condemned. You guys have to stay outside. Don't even use the electricity in the building. I hope that you will share this and get the word out of what is going on. It is corrupt. I am angry. I stood in the ocean just sobbing this morning, feeling the energy of this place. It is heavy. It is very heavy. I took toiletry packets to try to deliver to as many people as I could. There was lots of homeless people here, and I found a woman, and she was just, you could tell, worn. And she just sobbed when I hugged her, and she said, nobody hugs anymore. Like, I can't remember the last time I had a hug. So if you see somebody, ask if they need a hug. I think I gave her 5 hugs, and they were very long hugs. I just held her until she let go. And she said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So if anything, if you don't even have money, you have your body, you can go give somebody a hug and spread them love and warmth. In these times, we are trying to help, and we are being blocked by this government, by these corrupt officials at every single turn. Oh, you don't have a commercial license? Nope. There are people trying the highway right behind me, trying to get in to deliver supplies, truckloads full of supplies, because they don't have an official permit and official permission from who? Where do you even get permission? They are not allowed to go and help the people who are being cut off from all assistance. It is pure insanity. Pure insanity. So please get the word out, share this. This is Maui. I've been living here since May, and I believe I was brought here for a reason, and it breaks my heart if this was the reason I was brought here, but I'm happy that I'm here to assist, spread love and light to this area. And I used to be an activist. I feel like that part of me is coming back out again, because what is going on here is extremely corrupt. It is extremely, I'm just so angry that the people would easily take care of this situation and the officials are milling around. They said they were able to get into the Lahaina area and officials were milling around doing nothing, blocking people from being able to help. It's just, I can't even, there's no words. So please get the word out. Do not donate to the Red Cross or United Way or the War Memorial Center. Find a local place. You can drop things off at this harbor here. We're at the harbor, and there are boats that are taking over donations, breaking through barricades, breaking laws to try to help people. And the Maui Food Bank, I did get the card, and I went and talked to them in person today, and you can ship supplies to them, and they will get them to the people in need. I don't know if you can see this. I know it's going to be backwards. But Maui Food Bank, is giving things to the people as well. There's other organizations. Make sure you vet them, but do not give to Red Cross. Do not give to the United Way. Any of these big operations, FEMA, completely corrupt. FEMA is requiring people to sign their paperwork and do all kinds of red tape to even get any help. Pure insanity. Look at my Facebook page for more updates from locals who are sharing what's really going on. And since I started sharing what was going on in Maui, guess what? Now I'm shadow banned. Isn't that awesome? I wasn't even able to leave comments on posts this morning. They kept getting blocked. So they don't want this news to get out. Why are they locking down Lahaina? Why aren't they letting anybody see what's going on? They don't want that out. I believe that there's well over 1,000 casualties, which is heartbreaking, and they are putting out tiny little numbers. And when our government officials are speaking, all they can say is, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. All they're talking about is shifting the blame to somebody else and FEMA federal money that it's going to come. They're not caring about the people who are starving, who don't have internet, who don't have food, they don't have electricity, they need water, and there's tons of it sitting here. Yet it's being blocked. So that's what's going on the ground in Maui right now.
Okay? You heard it from somebody that is right there. I've had a hard time with this. I've had a very hard time, like some of you have seen how I feel. You guys have actually seen how I feel. Those of you that know me personally know that I am taking this very hard. Because I also have friends. I don't have family members that I know of, but I have friends there. I have friends in Maui, I have friends all over the islands. So this I'm taking very hard. People can't even get in there to deliver supplies. Supplies are not being allowed in there. Now, one of the things that she said was getting people in there to go through where they live. Again, only 25% of the fire area, the fire footprint, has been searched for victims. No victims will be allowed in those other areas until they've been searched. No one will be allowed, and I back that. 5,000% I back that. Like I said in the beginning, Sunday and today, that area there is a graveyard. It's hallowed, sacred space. I'm sorry to hack in your ears, I got drainage. That is hallowed space. Let the authorities go through there. Now, there are people trying to make a buck over there. They're trying to make a buck. Maui landowners are terrified that the state of Hawaii is going to take their land, and I would be too. It's called eminent domain. Eminent domain. Developers have been trying to seize the land. They've been trying to talk homeowners there, landowners there, out of their property. They're trying to overtalk them into selling these developers the land. There are also those people from the state. There's also those people from the state that have been trying to talk the people into surrendering their land and the state giving them the property value. The Fifth Amendment's taking clause authorizes government to confiscate private land so long as it's used for public benefit. And 2, just compensation be provided to the owner. Now, I've seen this my own self over in Denver. There was a developer in downtown Denver that wanted some land that a drive-in theater owned. They wanted the land to develop a huge shopping center. The landowner of that drive-in did not want to sell the property. But the developer pursued it, and he went to court and forced the landowner to sell him the property for pittance, for pennies on the dollar. He was forced out of that land. I have seen relatives of mine, I have seen elderly victims of this eminent domain abuse lose their homes that they have worked so long to get. Elderly victims where that land and that home and that property had been in their family for generations, and the developers took it from them. So yes, this is happening. The 14th Amendment extends this power to the states. So this is very real in the minds of the people who own the property and who still own their homes over there in West Maui and Lahaina. The state has that power through the 5th and the 14th Amendment. Eminent domain. Okay? I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that information. I think it is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Okay? Now, I want to bring up some more information for you. I want to show you the picture of the man who's going to be talking here. His name is Eric. He is a real estate professional over there in Maui, on Maui. I'm going to let him talk about what is going on and what he's doing to try to help the people.
So we've got the donated, now we need donors to sponsor those accounts. We're going to try to disseminate and distribute those Starlinks to people that need them, organizations that need them, critical organizations. The Verizon Tower and the AT&T trucks and all those people are here. Maybe they're taking their damn time, but there is no internet. So the number one cry for help from me, for you, to share with the world is we need connectivity. We need to be able to communicate with each other. And I don't know if this is a purposeful blackout or what the heck is going on, but I'd also like to quell a couple of the things that I've heard come up recently. I've heard there's some talk about real estate agents and realtors trying to sell the land and doing transactions. That's all complete nonsense. You can please share this video and just let the world know that's completely nonsensical. That is ridiculous. And I would just like for all the bullshit chatter to end already so we can get down to the business of helping people and saving lives and servicing those that need help, filling the gap, so to speak. And no more political talk, no more conspiracy theories, no more whatever. Just let's focus on getting the resources over here that are actually needed and get them over here to the people that need them. Today my goal is to go out and find those people. The doctor that I gave the Starlink to, she shared a story with me that she wanted me to share with the world. Two things that this doctor told me. She wanted to remain anonymous, but she said, number one, the pharmacies on this island, she cannot get into those pharmacies. Walgreens is still standing, Long's Drugs is still standing. She can't get to the drugs. She's a legitimate doctor. She's been here for 20 odd years. She works at the hospital, And she said a lot of the doctors and nurses are at War Memorial. War Memorial is not where it's happening. Just for you guys to know how to go pick up a map, okay? Kahului is where War Memorial is. That is a shelter. That's great. Those people are great, but there's still people on this side of the island that are not at War Memorial, okay? Tell me where the shelters are in West Maui, and I will go there. I just don't know where they're at. I've been in a blackout myself. Shelters, to my knowledge, on West Maui. There are people living in their homes, but I don't know if there's a shelter. Okay, if there is, please tell me where it's at. I will go there right away, and then talk to those people. But the second thing that she wanted to share, because number one, she can't get to the drugs. Okay, she needs to get to the drugs. Those pharmacies need to be opened up so a doctor, a legitimate doctor, can go in there and get the drugs. She says there's people standing outside of Walgreens waiting for their drugs. So she needs to get in. The people need to get in. Open up the drugs, please, for the doctors. There's drugs inside of there. Make it happen. Those buildings are fine. Walgreens is fine. Long's Drugs is fine. I've seen it with my own eyes. Number two, she wanted to share that, and I'm going to go there today, the most impacted victims that she has seen so far are the ones that are still living in the burn zone, north of the burn zone, in the neighborhood known as Waikuli Hawaiian Homes. Those individuals don't have power, they don't have water, they're in their homes. And check this out, they are not allowed to drive supplies into their homes. They're giving them carts to pull on the side of the road. So imagine someone gives you a 10-pound bag of ice, you have to stick it in a cart, and you have to drag it back to your house. So she has been picking some of those people up and trying to take them as close as she can to her home. She said that meanwhile, county workers, the National Guard, no one's helping these people get the supplies into those homes. So I'm going to go there today to see how close I can get to those people that are stuck in those homes. For whatever reason, they're still in their homes in Waikuli. But we need to figure out where the people are, we need to fill the gap, where they're at, what we can bring them, what they need, and that's what we're trying to figure out. But the number one need...
Okay, I played you the video just before this showing you the lady that he's talking about.
Right now is internet connectivity and communication, and you know the donation centers, from what I've seen, are stocked pile high with stuff. I've heard that they're running out of baby food and diapers on the other side of the island because it's all coming over here. But we need to get it to them. We need to figure out what the need is, where the gap is, and that's our goal, is to find the gaps and plug the gaps. We're not just going to start throwing resources at something until we know that it's needed, and then figure out how to get those resources, whatever they are, to those people that need it. Right now, in my opinion, the number one need is for connectivity, for communication, for internet, for high-speed, true high-speed internet. I talked to some people that said, oh, there's internet at Napili Plaza, where there's a distribution center. They went there, it didn't really work. You know, it's clogged up. There's nothing they can actually do. They can't transact any information because there's too many people on it. So you can say there's internet when there's not really internet, right? But I have very, very, very limited internet, and the Starlink takes a long time for that thing to connect as well. It took me most of the morning to get it to work. Don't ask me why. At any rate, if you're just tuning into this video, the main purpose is to share a redirect I was able to create called LahainaFireVictims.com, which is a redirect to a Google Drive that shows everyone that is registered that is alive in a shelter. That was very helpful for us because we were able to find some people that we knew they're okay. So hopefully that redirect works. The reason I created it is because the Google Doc link would not post, it would not text. I could not share it for whatever reason, but the redirect I think works. So we're not selling land. There's a moratorium. Realtors are not trying to sell this stuff. I am a real estate agent here on Maui, and yes, I have gotten calls from people that are interested in purchasing land that just burned. So I could please ask you, stop. For those members of the public out there in the mainland around the world that are opportunistic, that are making those phone calls to me and other agents, stop. Please, stop. I have gotten them, and it's just obnoxious. We don't have, just stop. There's a moratorium. There's no opportunity on Maui to buy anything unless you want to purchase a home. This is actually happening. Purchasing a home that wealthy people are going to purchase and then donate that home so someone can use it indefinitely rent-free. Okay, they're not going to give it to somebody probably, but they're going to let them live in it rent-free indefinitely. There are homes on the market that can be and should be purchased on West Maui to house people. Condos that can be purchased to house people. That's it. This must be going around because I got a bunch of text messages from people this morning talking about buying stolen land and realtors and all this stuff. So whatever the tin hat gaslighting BS conspiracy word of the day, if that's what's going out there, it's complete and utter nonsense. There's not a land grab that's going to happen in Hawaii, I can promise you. And don't start pointing the fingers at real estate agents. We don't even have power over here. I mean, we just got power. We don't have internet. We're not conducting business. But if you want to purchase a home for somebody that needs a place to live, go. That is a very important thing. And if you have a home that you want to sell that could house people, that's probably a great thing too. But again, we're not conducting business that has anything to do with the burn area whatsoever. And then the next thing is, okay, what's the next thing? Okay, we have generators that are battery powered that you can also charge with solar. We need more of those because they can actually run a Starlink. I want to show you the setup real quick. Oh, if I can stand up. Oh. So you can see right here, I've got this energy.
Okay, I'm not allowed to show you this video. They're not allowing me right now to show this video. I'm trying to get hold of Eric right now so that I can show this video to you. Eric is a real estate person there in Maui. But like I said, the developers are trying their hardest. Just like he said, they're calling the real estate agents. The agents are not allowed to do anything like that. But they don't care. The developers don't care. They're going to the state of Hawaii to try to use eminent domain for getting that land. Okay? Eric is getting these solar storage batteries, what they call storage generators, solar generators with solar panels that can recharge the batteries of the solar generator within 2 to 3 hours. So the solar generator can keep your food, your refrigerator going, and some lights going until they have power restored to the area. Okay? He's encouraging people to donate these for Patriots and other products over there so people can survive better. And he has gotten some solar generators and solar panels from people that have given them to him to give to people that need it, so they can have power. He's also got a Starlink system on his truck, on his car, so he can give people internet capability to issue payroll checks. Yes, guys, there are people that have employed other people that have lost everything. And those people have come to him asking him for bandwidth so they can do payroll transfers for people that need money. There's other people that need to pay their bills, and he's also offered his Starlink service from his vehicle so people can do that. So people can talk to their relatives and families as well. So he's doing that out of the goodness of his heart. But folks, this is a serious time. As I get to know Eric better, I'm hoping that he will get with me to allow me to show his videos so we can get everybody in touch with reality and get more people in tune with what is really going on. Because this is indeed very much an emergency situation. Now, getting over to earthquakes, okay? There is a man here who's a friend of mine, a friend of the program as well. His name is Daryl. His handle here on this channel and over on Discord is called Brokefish. You saw him on, in fact, you see him now in our channel, on our chat. He says, Brokefish is saying, give us a link. Okay? I just gave you all the links I have. for information on the victims. Okay? I'm giving you all the links that I can give you for victims of the Hawaii fire. It's not going away. Okay? Let me put it out again. Brokefish wants this information probably to put it up on our chat online here in our Discord. For those mods here that have our Discord address online, please give it out here in the chat so other people can come over to Discord to get information. There's a lot of information in the Emergency Management Associates Discord channel that you may need. Information about Hawaii, information about Oregon and California and Washington wildfire things. Okay? All that information is over on our Discord channel. And Brokefish and I have a working relationship where he is putting information on our channel on Discord, and also we are putting information on his. He's got a lot of information there. Okay? Again, that information that Eric gave us, LahainaVictims.com. LAHIANA victims.com. LahainaVictims.com. Lahaina Victims, one word. The other one is Lahaina Fire Fund. LAHAINA FIREFUND, one word.com. The other is his own site, Hawaii Real Estate, one word, Hawaii Real Estate, one word.org. HawaiiRealEstate.org. Okay? Those are the places where you can give your money to make sure that your money goes to the Hawaii fire victims. Okay? If you know of a name of a particular victim, when you go to the LahainaVictims.com site, you can mention that fire victim's name, and that money will be earmarked only to those people. So you can do that. Okay? That is a list for Hawaii fire victims survival list. Okay? Now, I am going to show you some things, and I stand by it. I have done my own investigation on what is going on in Maui. And a lot of things have happened that I do not agree with. Okay? I'm just going to tell you that. There's a lot of things that have gone on that I despise, such as this. Okay? A perfect ring of fire? Question mark. Trees. And you saw plenty of trees on the videos that we showed you. Plenty of trees with foliage that was not burned in the fire. The tree canopy was still alive and well. What causes that? Okay? Now I am not going to mention what some of you and I may think happened over there. Okay? I am not going to mention it on here. I don't want to get kicked off this channel. Okay? But these fire circles don't just happen. They don't happen in real life. Like I said, I was a volunteer firefighter back in the day. I have seen wildland fires. I have participated in fighting those fires. I have seen video of fires throughout my life. Not until recently have I seen this happen. Now there is a photo that may have been Adobe shot. Okay? They may have doctored it. I don't know for sure. They may have doctored it. That shows a light coming down and hitting, supposedly hitting, a place on the ground in Maui. There's nothing that I have that can prove that that happened. It may have been photoshopped. I don't know. But I'm not going to put that on my program. Okay? It's just not going to happen. Unless I have someone that was actually there that took the picture. I need to know that person. Nothing is going to go on my air without me verifying it. If I can't verify it, it didn't happen. I'm already questioning the government. Not just the Hawaii government, but I'm questioning everything. And I used to work for the government. And that's one of the reasons I question the government. Okay? I'm just going to tell you straight out. Heidi Porter's here in our chat. She said, just like my property in Paradise, California, tree canopy was fine. Many plastics on the ground untouched, but fire everywhere. Blackened ground everywhere. Okay? Heidi, I know exactly what you're saying. I've seen it time and time and time again. Hurricane Heather in the chat. We have fire after fire starting in Northern California even right now. Yes, Heather, we are aware of that. And we are going to talk about that on a coming program. I promise you that. We're going to talk about California. We're going to talk about the wildfires in southwestern Oregon. We already have yesterday. We're going to continue. We're going to continue to tell you exactly what's going on and talk about fire evacuations and make sure we can keep people safe. That is the whole premises of Emergency Management Associates. Talking about emergencies and disasters and what we can do to avoid becoming victims. What we can do to make sure we're safe. What we can do to make sure that we get through the emergency somewhat unscathed if possible and coming out the other side and stay alive and well, and for those people that have businesses to get through the disaster and coming out the other side and still staying in business. That's what we want to do with this program. That's been our very goal since the beginning, and that has not stopped. That you can take to the bank. The one whom Jesus loves says, anyone see the church that didn't burn in Lahaina? I have not yet seen it myself, and if I get a picture of that or a video, I will put it on the air here. I've heard about it, but I have not seen it. Okay? Raymond Royce Sr. says yes. I don't have a picture or I'd put it on the air. Anyway, besides the Ring of Fire, I want to talk about earthquakes. Over in Hawaii, over on the Big Island, Kilauea has been getting hit with earthquakes. Most of these are tremors, however, there are a great deal of actual earthquakes that are hitting. Sunday, Kilauea volcano had a 4.5 moderate earthquake. A 4.5 moderate earthquake hit the Kilauea Halemaumau crater. Folks, it appears that Kilauea is ramping up to have another eruption. Now you can tell from this photograph. This is a fairly recent photograph. Not the most recent, but a fairly recent. You can see where the lava lake is, where the caldera is, where the hardened lava is. You can see earthquakes there in the center of that caldera. Okay? Earthquakes there, 2.2, 2.5 earthquakes, 1.5, 1.7, 2.2, and I believe even a 3.0 is hit here at Kilauea today. Over 32 earthquakes today at Kilauea. Over 32 earthquakes today at Kilauea volcano on the big island of Hawaii. Now, with that said, we have never seen, and I have not heard of a major eruption where there was ash and steam going thousands of feet into the air. Eruptions at Kilauea have been short for the most part, lasting maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Okay? They have only raised the lava level of the volcano up until it's just down below 300 feet from the rim of the volcano. We don't expect a major eruption from here. And even if there was, okay, the lava would only go a distance away from the rim of the volcano. That's what happened at Mauna Loa this last time. It was not a major eruption at Mauna Loa. Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa are showing signs of possible eruption as well. But however, the USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory are not showing anything going on at Mauna Loa or Mauna Kea. Only here at Kilauea. So there's that. Other earthquakes, okay? The Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest in the Cascadia subduction zone region are showing earthquakes. Over at Queen Charlotte Island, you can see here a 4.5 magnitude earthquake. A 4.5 magnitude earthquake hit here on Queen Charlotte Island today. This is the first larger earthquake, not a large, but a moderate earthquake. The first moderate earthquake we've seen hit Queen Charlotte Island since we've been watching for the Cascadia megathrust earthquake. This is the first 4.5 earthquake that we've seen here at Queen Charlotte Island. However, that does not say that there's not going to be. Okay? I want to make that clear as well. Now, one of the things I want to show you, and I'm going to go to my device to show you this. Besides that 4.5 on Queen Charlotte Island, there are other earthquakes. There have been other earthquakes near there. So never let it be said that I didn't show you this. This is important. Okay? I want to make sure everybody understands this. This is really, really important. Okay? We have had other earthquakes near there. USGS is not even showing that 4.5. They're not even showing it. They're showing one lousy earthquake just off the coast of Queen Charlotte Island. Okay? This is a 4.5 earthquake that hit on Queen Charlotte Island today. Okay? It hit on Queen Charlotte Island today. Let me back this out. This is Queen Charlotte Island. This is north of Vancouver Island. Okay? North of Vancouver Island. 3 4 other earthquakes have hit just off the coast of Queen Charlotte Island. This is a, This is a 1.65 tremor right there. Notice it's right on top of the fault. Just west of the fault, we have a 3.40, a 1.98, and a 1.52. This is a 3.40 right there. The other two there are tremors. Guys. So we've had a 3.4 there, and we've had a 4.5 over there in central Queen Charlotte Island region right there. Okay? That's there. But that's not all, guys. That's not all. Down off the coast, the southern west coast of Queen Charlotte Island, there's another tremor. This is a 1.72. This is a 1.72 tremor just off the southwest coast of Queen Charlotte Island today. A total of 5 events off the coast of Queen Charlotte Island today. Northeast of Queen Charlotte Island, we have another earthquake there. I'm going to show you that one as well. This is a 1.93, 2.0 magnitude earthquake right here. This is just north of Prince Rupert, British Columbia. 39 miles north of Prince Rupert, British Columbia. It's a 1.93 magnitude tremor. Okay? There's putting it in perspective from where the other earthquakes at Queen Charlotte Island are. Okay? North of there, this is up near Juneau. 37 miles east of Juneau, we have another 1.92. Northwest of there, this is Skagway. Skagway, a 1.94. North of there, this is going to be Haines Junction, Yukon Territory, Canada. Yukon Territory, Canada. This is a 2.11 minor earthquake. Just west of there is Yakutak, Alaska. It's also a 2.1 magnitude minor earthquake. Look at where it's located, right on top of the fault zone. 2 earthquakes north of there. Near Burwash Landing, Yukon Territory, a 1.33 earthquake tremor, and right next to it is a 1.62. A 1.62 also in Yukon Territory. Okay? The other earthquakes here are all in Alaska. Now, earlier today, I heard an official from USGS tell people that there were only 20 earthquakes in Alaska today. Look at all these. I counted 72 earthquakes here in Alaska, and not just here, not just there. Up and down the entire region of Alaska. All over the region of Alaska here, 72 earthquakes. 72 earthquakes. The biggest ones were over there near Haines Junction and Yakutak. Also a 2.6 over here in the Andreanof Islands near Atka, Alaska. Okay? That was a 2.6. Right next to it is a 1.8 tremor. A 1.8 tremor there near Atka, Alaska. Over in the peninsula of Alaska. Okay? Off the coast of Sandpoint, Alaska. This is important. because this earthquake is an aftershock of that 6.9 that was here earlier this year. Okay? This is a 2.0 earthquake just off the coast of Sandpoint, Alaska that hit today. It's an aftershock of the 6.9 earthquake that I thought was a 7.5. And I show you all evidence of that when that earthquake hit. That's an aftershock. Also, this one here. You need to see this. This is a 4.0 in that same location. Both of these earthquakes are aftershocks of that 6.9 or the 7.0, 7.5 earthquake that actually hit here just a few months ago. Okay? Those are the big earthquakes in Alaska today. Now, something else that I want you to see today, that happened today. Okay? Okay? This happened here in the United States, in North Carolina, not far from where I live, about 140 miles north of where I live. This happened in McLeansville, North Carolina. Here are two 2.1 magnitude earthquakes in McLeansville, North Carolina. Look at what they say here. They put it near Greensboro. It's not near Greensboro. This is near McLeansville. It's actually in McLeansville, North Carolina. It has nothing to do with Greenville. Okay? 2.1 earthquake and a 2.25. A 2.1 and a 2.5 here near McLeansville right here. Neither one of these earthquakes have anything to do with Greenville. And yet they tried to put it off as Greenville, North Carolina. It's not. It's McLeansville, North Carolina. Okay? So we had two minor earthquakes hit here in North Carolina today. Over along the New Madrid Fault, the north end of the New Madrid Fault, in Lawrenceville, Illinois, we had a 2.11 earthquake up here in Illinois. Earlier this week, Sunday, we had two other 2.25 and 2.5 magnitude earthquakes here in Illinois. So those of you that have been feeling shaky, that's why. That's why. There's been plenty of earthquakes up and down the entire New Madrid Fault, and even today. Over here in Missouri, we had a 2.8 magnitude earthquake today, and they've taken it down. Why would you do that? It happened just after 6 a.m. this morning, and it's already taken down. They don't want us to see it, do they? Heaven forbid. We've had 3 earthquakes up in Oklahoma today. 3 minor tremors in Oklahoma today. Nothing big to talk about except they're tremors. They're oil and gas tremors here. Oil and gas drilling, the holes where they drilled in to the earth to obtain oil and gas, got hit with seismic energy causing those earthquakes. Down in southern Texas, southeastern Texas, Nordheim, Texas, a 1.8 tremor today. Southeast Texas. Not to be outdone, but Westbrook, Texas up here had a 2.1 earthquake. Westbrook, Texas, a 2.1 earthquake. Now, western Texas can't get away with anything, can they? Not at all. Here in Malanga, New Mexico, just on the border of Texas, we have a 2.60 earthquake. A 2.6 earthquake. Okay? Just barely south of there in Mentone, Texas, we have a 2.0. Okay? Right next to it, another 2.1. Go figure. That happens all the time. When we have a 2.0 or 2.1, we have twin earthquakes. That happens. Now the next earthquakes that I'm going to show you are 3 of them. And they're purportedly in New Mexico, but they're not. They're in Texas. USGS tries to put them in White City, New Mexico. They're in Texas. Okay? A 2.70 earthquake there. And right next to it, we have a 2.8 and a 2.2. A 2.8 and a 2.2 earthquake right there. Okay? Over in western Texas. And folks, they are oil and gas quakes as well. Okay? Let me zoom in on this and show you something. Come on. It's not going to let me show you. Darn it. You can just barely see just southeast of this earthquake where there is an oil and gas facility there. You can just barely see it there. But there's oil and gas all over that area. It's huge. It's huge. Up here to the north, you can definitely see it right there. Oil and gas plots everywhere. This is an oil and gas rich region, and that's why those earthquakes are hitting there. Oil and gas. Also, something that you probably should know is over here near the mouth of the Gulf of California, we have a 3.6 earthquake here. The Gulf of California here. Okay? Right there. Going up into the Salton Sea area, Southern California, they're not showing any earthquakes whatsoever there in the Imperial Valley. But south of the border, a 2.11 earthquake there. Not surprising. Actually happens a lot. It happens a ton. Over in Baja, California, we have several 3s, literally everywhere. A 3.0 there in Baja, and north of there, we have this earthquake here. Let me show you this. This is a 3.1 here. A 3.1. Now, I want to show you this, okay? See where this earthquake is? Just barely south of there, we have a raised round area. Let me zoom in and show you this, okay? What do you think this raised round area is? This is magma down beneath the surface that did not punch up above the surface. Magma pushed this land upwards but didn't break the surface. That's all lava area, guys. This happens all up and down the Gulf or the Baja California area. All over you can see areas where we could have had a volcano had the volcano actually erupted. All over Baja California. Now, one other place. I gotta show you this, okay? USGS called this a explosion, a quarry blast. I gotta show you this. This is in San Diego. This is in not San Diego City. This is in northeast San Diego County. This is Rancho San Diego. It's actually at a golf course. It's a 1.54 tremor at a golf course, and you can clearly see the golf course there. That is not a quarry blast. It's not an explosion. It's a 1.54 tremor at a golf course, Rancho San Diego, northeast San Diego County. Okay? I just love showing that. Also, over in San Pedro, California today, Los Angeles area on the west side of LA, just off the coast of San Pedro. This is a 1.26 tremor here, just off the coast of San Pedro. Okay? Yes, we are having earthquakes. Now, just north and west of there, just northwest of Rancho Palos Verdes, we have a 2.32 earthquake. A 2.32 earthquake just off the coast of Rancho Palos Verdes and San Pedro, California today. There's plenty of activity going on, guys. Plenty of activity. Corona, California, a 1.45 tremor today. Corona, California here. East of there, Colton, a 1.24. Yucaipa, a 1.11 on the San Andreas Fault. North of there, Little Rock, California, 1.18 on the San Andreas Fault. Okay? A lot of tremors and earthquake activity. Santa Paula, California, a 1.22 tremor today. Santa Paula, California, just north of LA. And you can see these other earthquakes here. Guess what? The Garlock Fault is going, isn't it? That's along the Garlock Fault. Now, this earthquake, a quarry blast. It's a 1.06 tremor. It's a quarry. They're mining borax out of there in the Mojave Valley. This one nearly, well, it's still in that area. Boron, California, it's a 1.69 tremor there. Borax. Borax, guys. Now, let's go back over here, just over here on the Garlock Fault. Literally on top of the Garlock Fault. This is actually a tremor there. It has nothing to do with mining. It's a 1.13 tremor on the Garlock Fault. Okay? Now, we can go north of there. Okay? Olancha, California. Oh, darn it. Olancha, California. This is 65 miles north of Ridgecrest. A 1.17 tremor there. 65 miles north of Ridgecrest. This area here had hundreds of tremors before and after the Ridgecrest earthquake. Just north of Ridgecrest is Little Lake, California. Little Lake, California, we have a 1.27 and a 1.28 side by side there in Little Lake, California. That is just south. That is just south of Cozo Volcano. Cozo Volcano, guys. Cozo Volcano. Just south of Mammoth. Round Valley, California today. The Round Valley volcano is alive and well. A 1.16 tremor at Round Valley Volcano over there just barely south and east of Mammoth Mountain. Okay? You can see that happening there. Out east of Mono Lake is a town called Mina, Nevada. Okay? The Adobe Hills Monte Cristo Volcanic Range. Remember we had a 6.9 earthquake there a couple of years ago? Guess what? We have two more earthquakes out there today. A 1.30 tremor there, Mina, Nevada, Mina, Tonopah, Nevada area, and here is a 1.7 in that area as well. Okay, that is a volcanic range. We had a 6.9 earthquake here 2 years ago. Okay, it's a huge volcanic range that includes another place, What is it called, guys? Anybody with me that was here about 4 years ago? Even 2 years ago? We've been having earthquakes there for quite a while. What else is there? What else is there, guys? Any ideas? It's called Area 51. It's a huge volcanic area. Area 51. But, again, in the Cascade subduction zone region, on the Blanco fracture zone, we have another 3.1 earthquake here, off the coast of Langlois, Oregon. Off the coast of Langlois, Oregon. Okay, a 3.1 earthquake on the Blanco fracture zone in the Cascadia megathrust earthquake zone. Okay, we continue to see earthquakes there. I don't believe it's going to stop. It's not going to stop anytime soon. Again, I want to show you this on Hawaii. Okay? 20 plus earthquakes over here, right over there at Kilauea Volcano. Halemaumau crater at Kilauea. Over in the East Rift Zone, okay, Leilani Estates, we have a 2.6 earthquake here in Leilani Estates right there. A 2.6 earthquake over here in Leilani Estates. See that huge area here where all that lava came out of the volcano, volcano? Remember those great big huge fissures? 24 of them opened up here, some of them over here in Leilani Estates. Here's a 2.6 earthquake in that same area where the lava came and went down the hillside into the ocean there. Okay, even earthquakes there. Over here at Pahala, notice the earthquakes here. This whole area here at Pahala is like a distribution point for magma beneath the surface of the earth, beneath the surface over here in Hawaii. This is like a gas station to the volcanoes over in Hawaii. Way down south over here in the Pacific Ocean, way down south over here in the Pacific Ocean is a great big huge, let me get it here, is a great big huge magma plume deep in the center of the earth. This magma plume deep in the center of the earth is supplying magma to all the volcanoes around the world. When the magma comes up to Hawaii, this area of Pahala is like a distribution point for the magma to the volcanoes here on the Big Island, including Kilauea, including over here at Mauna Loa. Yes, we do have a tremor here at Mauna Loa here. This is a 1.96 2.0 earthquake at Mauna Loa here today. Okay? Magma also over here to Mauna Kea, right here, Mauna Kea. Also over to Hualalai. Hualalai volcano right in here. Hualalai volcano, it's alive and well. If I showed you seismograms, you could see that there is magma beneath the surface causing tremors and earthquakes there at all three of those other volcanoes. And they're hitting. USGS doesn't want anybody to know about it, so you're not going to see it on their maps. But if you go to the seismograms, you're going to see it every time. Every time. Now, one more stop here. New Zealand, guys. Look what's going on. None of these are large. None of these are large. They're minor 2.6, 2.3, 2.5, and 3.5 earthquakes here on the North Island and also down here on the South Island here. They're all small and minor earthquakes. Nothing major. Nothing major. Christchurch, New Zealand. Christchurch, New Zealand is right in here. Okay? That's where Christchurch, New Zealand is. Just so you know. All they've had is a line of quakes over there on the South Island. Tasman, New Zealand, 2.45, 2.72, and 3.27. Those line of 3 earthquakes here. There's a 3.27, and here's the other 2s right there. Over in the Cook Strait here, we've got a 2.41 and a 2.24 earthquake in the Cook Strait there. And you can see the other earthquakes here on the North Island here. And up in the, this is called the Catcher's Mitt, the Bay of Plenty. This is the Bay of Plenty. We often refer to it as the Catcher's Mitt. And there are 2 earthquakes on the earthquake fault, directly on top of the earthquake fault. Okay? Happens all the time. 2.49 and a 2.32 at the Bay of Plenty. Okay? Now, where do these faults come from? Where do these faults come from? This one comes out of Fiji. This one comes out of Fiji. This one comes out of Tonga. Fiji and Tonga. Okay? Earthquake faults. Great big huge ridges coming out of Fiji and Tonga all the way down into New Zealand. USGS not saying squat. Nothing. Nothing. Look at all the earthquakes here in Indonesia and into the Philippines today. Look at that. Philippines and Indonesia today. And they haven't said hardly anything. Almost nothing. One other thing that I probably should show you is just north of Taiwan. Okay? This actually is near Okinawa. Closest place to it is Okinawa. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake out here in the ocean. A 4.7 moderate earthquake out here in the ocean. Nothing really to be concerned about. It's on the earthquake fault there. It's on the earthquake fault. There's a large earthquake over in Peru. Mission Pasco, Peru, a 5.1 large earthquake hit there in the interior of Peru today, on the east side of the Andes Mountains. Okay? And you can see all the other earthquakes here in Central or in South America there. USGS hardly showing anything at all. There's a lot going on. Remember me yesterday telling you that Puerto Rico didn't have any earthquakes at all? Guess what? Today they did. Down in southwestern Puerto Rico, a 2.2 earthquake today. A 2.2 earthquake down there in southwestern Puerto Rico today. Over above that, okay, this is a fault zone. The Cayman Ridge right here. An earthquake hit just south of the Cayman Ridge. It's a 3.80. USGS has named this as north of Vieques, which is an island outside of Puerto Rico mainland. Okay, it's northwest of Puerto Rico here. I'm going to show it to you right here. There's Vieques. Okay, it's quite a bit south of where that earthquake is. Okay, there's an earthquake over here at the Cayman Ridge. Vieques is down here. It's down here. Just to show you. Vieques Island, by the way, is an inhabited island there in Puerto Rico. It's a tourist trap. The only way you can get to it is by boat or sailplane. That's it. Or seaplane, I should say. Not sailplane, but a seaplane. So that's what's going on. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay? I want to make sure that I answer any questions that you might have. I think it's very important at this point. One Who Loves Jesus says, just heard on another channel there's a fire in Agua Dulce, California, which is east of me, but far enough away. Yes, I believe that. There's been some people that have set fires there. You've also had some lightning set fires over there in Agua Dulce area too. But that's what happens. Okay? I'm just going to tell you that's what happens. Okay? Does anybody have any questions for me? Anybody have any questions? My friend Laura Marie from Oregon is here. I appreciate that too. You guys, I love you all. I really do. Before you leave, people, friends, family, please hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this program tonight and we've given you any good information about it. Someone here, N187, gave us a bunch of different characters. I don't know what language that is, but if you are here in this chat room, you need to speak English. It all has to be in English or your chat will be taken down. We don't allow any other languages to be put here in this chat. Any questions? Broguefish is probably still here, and he's available over on our Discord channel as well. He also has his own Discord channel, Broguefish. Okay? And there's quite a few of our friends that are giving us information about earthquakes and fires over there in California, Oregon, and Washington. Okay? We appreciate all of that information. It's very valuable. Hacksaw says, I do not approve of CYNA despot government. I agree, I don't either. Okay? I totally agree with you. I don't appreciate it, don't want it. None of us here in the United States wants to have China anywhere in our United States. And yet, there are a ton of Chinese companies that own property here in the United States. And a ton of Chinese migrants that are not even legal residents here in the United States that have flooded across the border since Biden opened it up. They're military age guys. Why? Why? A Chinese company bought property right next to Minot Air Force Base. Right next to Minot Air Force Base. It's a huge SAC Air Force Base. I've been there. Okay? They control missiles from Grand Forks and Minot there. It's a huge SAC base. B-52 bombers are there, as well as F-16s and all kinds of other aircraft there. Okay? Why would China do it? Because they're infiltrating our country. It's the closest place that they can get to monitor our Air Force Base. It's a sad state of affairs. Okay? Space Force's Elgin Air Force Base had a wave of energy struck over the base, and it rained so much Fort Lauderdale area a couple of days ago. Oh yeah, it does. It does. Also, you didn't, I don't know whether you know or not, but we had some bears from Russia cruising our airspace over by Alaska, and they were chased off by our military fighters out of Ellison Air Force Base in Alaska. Okay? Great big huge bear bombers and fighters from Russia cruising our airspace over off our west coast, and also bears off our east coast and off of England yesterday and today. And they've been chased off by English and American fighter jets. Okay? So Russia is doing its best, one, to monitor airspace, but also exercise their muscles, flexing their muscles on England and the United States. Russia's actually threatened England with bombs. Okay? Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. It's happened a lot. Any questions, guys? Every question is important. There's no question that is ridiculous. It doesn't exist. Every question is very important. We'll take another minute or so and answer anybody's questions that you might have. Okay? Put your question in the comments area and we'll answer it. Okay? Please do that. I have no problems with taking questions. Also, again, before you leave today, please stop in and give us a thumbs up if you've appreciated any of the information that we've given you. We'd appreciate that a lot. Please invite your friends and family, extended family, your social media contacts, and even the people you work with to see this channel, and please share it with everybody. This is very valuable information tonight that I want to make sure gets out to the public as well as out to the people in Hawaii. And yes, we do have people in Hawaii monitoring this channel. Okay? A friend of ours named Gina is here. We've got Sister Gabriella Taylor that's here. She's from over there. Both of them are from over in Hilo. Okay? But we appreciate them. We got quite a few others here that have been here off and on throughout the years as well. We appreciate that. Okay, since we haven't had any questions, I'm going to share something with you, as I always do at the end of this program. I'm going over to Hebrews, the first chapter today, verses 8 and 9. And I think these two verses are very important in our lives, or I wouldn't even share it. Verse 8 in Hebrews. But unto the Son he saith, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. Verse 9. Thou hast loved righteousness and halted iniquity. Therefore God, even thy God, hath anointed thee with oil of gladness above thy fellows. Okay? That's important. Okay? God sent his Son to this earth to help bring peace and the message of the gospel to the earth, to help save people's souls, to help people return to our Heavenly Father. Okay? And his Son is a son of righteousness. His gospel is a gospel of righteousness and clean living. No unclean thing can enter the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Please, folks, please love and help each other. Polly's here in the chat, and I wanted to mention this earlier, and I'm glad she brought it up in closing. Maui Humane Society is also needing help. You can go over there and donate to the Maui Humane Society. They have had an influx of animals coming out of Lahaina and western Maui, and they need help. Dog food and also money. Dog food and money is very much appreciated. Those of you over on Maui, please help them. They would appreciate that help greatly. Okay? If there's no other things here, please notice that we've asked you to comment. Okay? We've asked you for questions. Okay? Firemen have gotten hurt in the fire. Presently, there are 7 firemen and victims of the Lahaina West Maui fires at the hospital there in Maui. Other victims were transported either over to Oahu or the Big Island for treatment of burns, as the hospital in Hawaii is not set up for long-term treatment of burns of that magnitude that they've had. God bless our police officers, God bless our firefighters here and all over the world. May God be with you all. Folks, you guys are everything. Everything to this channel, and you're everything to me. And I appreciate each and every one of you here. You guys are awesome. You folks are awesome. I love each and every one of you. I pray for you. I pray for you and your families and your friends that need help. There's not a day go by that I don't pray for you. I really do. Now, folks, I love you. Take care of each other. If you have not already done so, if there's someone that you love and you haven't told them any time recently, please call them. Go to see them. Give them a hug. Give them a hug. Sometimes that's all someone needs, is assurance that they're cared for. All they need is a hug that will get them through the day. Please don't ever let a day go by to let someone that you love know that you love them. That's my final words, guys. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, have a great night, everybody. This is the broadcast that I really didn't want to be doing, and we've done it. I've had a hard time tonight. God bless us all. I love you a lot, guys. I really do. I care for you a lot. Everyone. And that's the way it is. Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a good evening, folks. God be with you till we meet again. Good night, everybody. Much love.